So last time we were here, we were looking at F audio and an implementation of F audio for the new native backend to be paired basically with the desktop Vulkan implementation. So we're going to continue with that process. And where we had left it is we got all the code cleaned up and got it to compile, and it looks like it's running, but I don't have any sound coming out. So that's what we're going to start with today. So let's jump right in. So, all right. So let's get started with that. So where's our thing? I'm going to share my desktop. Entire screen. Oh, I haven't started our chat. Start the chat. Get that started as well. All right, let's see if this thing is actually going to work. You know, some startup of the video just requires a little bit of, startup process. Let's see. All right, sharing my desktop. I think this stuff's set up right. Yep. All right. All right, so let's get back to this. So where we left it was we had these audio unit tests, but when you play them, it does not produce any sound. So I was going to step through at least and see if there's any problems here. So I'm stepping through this code. Let me get my code sizes a little bit better here. Stepping through this code to see if there's anything that's failing on initialization or startup, which doesn't seem like there is, but let's double check. Make sure buffer create works. I don't know which one of these gets called, probably that one, but I'll set a couple more breakpoints. Voice create gets called. I think set buffer is called. Play. Yeah. And I don't think there's any sort of update. That was what I was going to investigate, see if off audio has like an update that needs to be called to like pump things. I mean, it could just be that it's not working within the unit test framework, but I've seen that before. So I might, if this doesn't work after a couple tries here, I don't see any obvious problems, I might just have to make a test program to verify. Block line 2 bits per sample every second. Okay, so that all looks reasonable. Buffer looks to have nothing in it. Let's see, where's it getting this data? Let's get this data from... I was just creating a new empty... Wait, is that what it's doing? Well, that's not going to play anything useful. So that might be one reason why I hear nothing, is it's just allocating a sound effect with just raw bytes and no data. So that might be part of the problem why I can't hear anything, even though everything is executing. Because it's going to be an array full of zeros, which, assuming that it is a signed... If they're signed, then it would end up being... Well, no, it's unsigned. I would expect to hear something, though, still, even from this, which is a little concerning. But let's double check this here. So we know this is all being called. Nothing is happening. Let's go back to the code here. Where's our unit test? There's our test. And I forget if there's another test that actually plays a real sound. Yeah, that's going to fail, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I know there's some other unit tests that play sounds here. Let me go look at one of them and just steal the sound effect from it. These are all loading. forgot what that's used for. Oh, the duration. Okay, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to copy you. I'm just going to hack this test real quick because I know this test is works. So I'm going to go with that. I'm just going to take that asset. I'm just going to hack this code just a little bit. All right. But sometimes I like to step through my code just to verify that things are working, but in this case, I'm just going to give it a shot and just see what happens. I'm just going to hit run. Should probably move this guy over so I can see better. Okay, there it goes. Okay, it didn't seem to do anything. I would have expected to hear something by now, so since we didn't, my guess is it didn't work. So let's step through it just to verify. Okay. Well, we knew it was going to do that. Okay, so it created a sound effect from that. Its duration 7 seconds. It's pretty long duration. Rates and instance, loop true, sound state stop, calls play, we hear nothing. Yeah, we've run into this before where sometimes the unit tests do not work properly. For the case of, like it sometimes has trouble playing things, so I just need to do it in some independent test case. So let's dog food. That's dog food stuff here. I'm gonna open a new copy of Visual Studio. I'm going to create a new project. Do I have any MonoGame templates? I guess I do not. Oh, what's the way to do that? I'm trying to remember. Learn. Let's go learn. Getting started. I think that's Windows setup. It's not actually templates. There we go. Let's try this. We're going to dog food a little bit. Let's get the extensions installed, and then let's see if we can make that work. Can I open a second? I just sworn I opened a second Visual Studio window. Begin without code. That's worth trying. Scribbananas brought up a point. What if I try sleep while dispatching instead of just sleep? That is true. Let's see if that will work for me. I mean, there is no loop there, but it's worth trying. Let's see. I'm just going to run it, see what happens. Yeah, I don't hear anything. Yeah, it was worth a shot, but I just wonder if it's not just for shits and giggles, let's I'm pretty sure that's not the problem, but run that again. Yeah, I didn't think so. I can also maybe do this real quick. Just to verify there's not something wrong with the test. It's been a long time since we ran any of the tests. Sure, I could do that one, I guess. Let's see. Come on, thing. Wake up. Framework audio. Significance tests. Let's just see if that one runs. Hey, I heard an explosion. It totally runs. So this unit test works under desktop GL. It does what it's supposed to do, and it successfully plays. So we know that audio works. The unit test can execute it. It's not executing for F audio, which suggests that there's something wrong with the code. But I need to be absolutely certain. It's possible it's just something very simple, which is finding that simple problem. At least with this, we can verify that the unit tests work. I still feel like maybe I need a test case that's separate, because I don't trust the unit test framework fully. I've run into weird bugs with it before. And I would hate to spend hours looking at this and find out, oh yeah, it just F audio doesn't work under the unit test for whatever weird native reason. So let me see what I can do here. And I don't mind dog fooding some of our stuff. Manage extensions. What was the instructions? I'm just looking for the MonoGame extension. Oh god, resharper, go away. There we go. Sure. Okay, close that dude, and then it's gonna run. It's really annoying that it has to shut down everything to be able to do that. Oh, I have another Visual Studio copy open. All right. Install. Great. Open this guy back up. All right. And it really sucks that we don't get our icons in here. That's something that we should fix. Like, it's unattractive not to have our own custom icons on these templates. It makes it not stand out. I guess this is still an old extension. It still says MonoGame Team. It should say the Foundation or not at all. It seems like, and this is something I get on Simon about a lot of times, like every MonoGame. It's like we don't have to put MonoGame in front of every sentence. It's kind of ridiculous. All right, so I just want a simple, sure, that'll work. Yeah, I'll use that one in my jump folder. After it's created, I'll go hack it up. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and just add existing project. Not that. Framework. I'm going to add this guy. And I'm going to add So I've added those two projects in here. I'm going to blow away these dependencies. Away builder task, the worst thing in the world. I don't even need that anymore, I don't believe. Oh, that's kind of stuck there, I guess. I'm going to get rid of content because I don't need it. All right. Sure, until it's dependent on both. Actually, I don't need to do that. Hey, there's that pesky MGCB doing wacky things again. Let's see if it actually runs at all. Yeah, I missed the DLL, so need to get it to copy the DLL, which is always a pain in the ass. At least you can do this. I don't know if I can do it. I think I can actually do it like that. Let's try that real quick. I think we can just add the reference, even though it's like, this is stupid. I don't need this. I think it'll still cause it to copy the dependency. I think. Nah, it didn't. It's really annoying when it does that. Let's just do it properly, I guess. I need to get it to make a copy. Oh, get rid of you piece of garbage. So yeah, I'll steal you. See, can I? No, let me do it here. See, is it better? Actually, no, this is the way I want to do it. Yeah, I'll probably just do it as a link. It'll be just easier. Let's see what I need to do. I need to go, yeah, add listing item, go all the way to my projects there. Native, MonoGame, oh, wrong place. Artifacts, native. And why is it? Oh, MonoGame native. Windows, desktop VK. Let's go with debug. All files. I just need you. Add as link. I think that might do it by itself. Let's see. Actually, rebuild. No. Oh, what the heck is this mess? I don't know what the heck this mess is. What the heck did it do? Weird. I must have somehow fat fingered that and got it to happen. Let's not worry about that. Let's continue here. Okay, so build succeeded. I'm going to rebuild anyways. I want to see if it should say something that it copied it in the output, doesn't it? I guess we'll see. Let's run. Yeah, that's what I suspected. Oh, well, that's annoying. Copy always. I don't know if I have to change the build action to content or something dumb. Ah, damn it. That's not what I hit. All right. Getting closer. Huh? Huh? What the heck happened there? I mean, that's a... Is it set to the wrong kind of project? Yeah. These supposed to be .NET 8 OS version. Don't need Windows Forms. But what? What? It just built a minute ago. What changed? I changed the property. Oh, damn it. Thanks for catching that. So stupid. Let me just fix it in here. I don't trust that thing not to do weird shit. Yep, that'll do it. What is it doing? What is this garbage? When has Visual Studio ever done this shit? I've never seen Visual Studio do this. I didn't do it. Hello, John Smith. What the heck is it doing? It's like out of its mind. Okay, so that's there. That's fine. Get rid of you. Hit save. I'm going to close this so it's not confused, hopefully. Oh, sorry. Hit build again. Okay, that succeeded. Content copy always, that's correct. Right, so I'm going to do rebuild one more time. All right, let's see if this time it runs. Hey, look, it's getting progress. Safe abort when evaluating a function. Okay. I don't know what. God damn it, the worst fucking dialogue ever. Okay. We're to a starting point. Finally. You know, sometimes things just take longer than you expect. So I'm going to take this unit test. I'm just going to snipe this whole thing out of here. Come on, thing. On Visual Studio, wake up. There we go. And I'm just going to drop it into here. Let's drop it into load content. And we'll just do a little bit better than we worked with that before. Nope. A little bit of work there. Gonna do that. And we're going to create an instance from it. Oh, Come on, thing. Okay, I misspelled instance, but who cares? Loop true. And I just need that audio file. So I'm just gonna call it that. I'm going to go grab it from the other project. Class mono. Just put it in here. No. Content. Copy of newer. Build. Right. Let's see if this runs now. Looks like it did it. And I hear no audio. That's the important part. So here's a standalone app. It's playing the sound effect instance looped, hearing no audio. I bet you if I swapped it out to use the GL or the DX backend, it'll play. It might be a pain in the ass to switch that around right now, so I don't know if I feel like doing that. It's annoying, but maybe I should, just in case. I just want to be absolutely certain that I'm not missing anything stupid. But it really, no, it really feels like this should have worked at this point. So let's proceed with figuring out why this is failing, because that's really the next thing we need to do. So let's dig in. So let's start from the basics of it and move our way up. So it creates a buffer. I'm assuming that all our initialization of the sound system is correct, but let's step through it in detail. To remember, we did this by using Beyond Compare, and we compared F audio and our X audio implementation. Being since those are supposed to be equivalent APIs, we should get the same results. We'll check that as we go here just to make sure that we didn't miss anything. So all it takes is just not hooking something up properly, and then suddenly it doesn't work. So let's take it one step at a time here. Okay, that's interesting. Why didn't that? Oh, is it because might have to set the debug to debug native and something about that, isn't there? Is it hidden inside this thing? Yeah, it's hidden inside that thing. So annoying. Hello, Barasoft 8066. Ugh. We have some spam. Bye, spammer. All right, so I should jump to native code now. All right, so create an F audio object. Looks like it did that successfully. It didn't return results, error results. Create mastering voice, default channels, default sample rate. Didn't give us an error. What are those other parameters, I guess? Let's verify what those things are. flags, device index. Yeah, nothing that should probably matter. And if I go back to this guy, yeah, default settings for the most part for creating mastering voice. All right. Creates a reverb effect. Gets the details from the mastering voice. 2 channels, 4800. That seems correct. Just help initializing the reverb stuff. Create submix voice for the reverb chain. What is the deal there? Input channels, input sample rates, send list. Okay. Do we have to do anything about all the different APIs blend in my head because I've worked with tons of different audio APIs. So I don't think that we have to do anything with the mastering voice to hook it back up to F audio. I think it's just create mastering voice creates the mastering voice, and that's that. So I think we're fine there. So I feel good that this is actually initializing properly. So if that's initializing properly, the next thing to look at is the buffer and the data put into the buffer to make sure that it's not bad. Even though I don't think it is, it's worth double checking. And the voice. I don't think it calls that. It's called play. You know what? I didn't see it set the buffer and maybe it did. We'll see. So it creates a buffer object, which is just literally just creating it. It's empty. Then it initializes it with the wave header. Which I believe it casts the wave header here. Yeah, that all looks correct. It's an appropriate wave header. That copy of the wave header worked. Okay. We're going to clean that up. I don't like that. Allocates the data for it of the right length. Copies the wave data, which just for shits and giggles, let's make sure that it looks reasonable. Yep, I see data in there. It's not all zeros. It's not all one thing. See, there's data there of some sort. Whether it's the right data or not, who knows, but it should make some noise at least. Buffer length, it pre-calculates the duration, which I think that 7164, just for, again, for shits and giggles, let's double check that that's correct. Let's let Windows verify for us. Okay, Windows, I just right-clicked on something. It's amazing that in this day, I have to wait for a right click. Okay, there we go. Yeah, thanks for not being more accurate, but yeah, it's 7 seconds with some remainder, but at least, hey, it's not completely off, so that's good to know. So that worked. I think then it calls voice create. Yep, and all that does is create the voice and assign the system. It does call set buffer. Say, so set buffer creates a voice. That's interesting. Okay, I guess that's true. That makes sense. The voice needs to know the format of the buffer, so that's why it does it that way. So it's the F audio system. That looks like created. Voice use filter. I wonder if use filter should be there or not. Default frequency ratio format looks correct. That's the outgoing voice handle. Just want to know what all the parameters are to be sure. Callback. I'm pretty sure. Forget if that's for the callback or. It's going to look up the X audio doc on that. I'd have to just go by the X audio docs to figure it out. Unfortunately, there are no docs for it other than this. Wait, his filter does not exist. That doesn't make any sense. Annoying. Let's see. Functions, create audio, create voice. First. Huh. What? Oh, it's because this is the not the interface version of it, right? I'm going to remove that just in case. I'll go back and remove that in a minute and see. I don't trust it. It should be fine. It shouldn't matter, but I don't trust it. So voice play. That shouldn't matter. That shouldn't matter. So there's the buffer state. Oh, well, that'll do it. There's no play data. Audio data. Kind of need that in order for it to play. So there's a problem right there. So how did we miss that? What got screwed up here? Something got screwed up. Yep, something got missed. Let's see what it is. But that's the problem. Yay, we found the problem. Simple enough. Don't pass it data. It doesn't do anything. You would hope that, like in a deep development build, that it would spit out some useful information, but unfortunately it did not. And I don't think there's any sort of... I thought there was some diagnostic stuff with X audio. Let's look at it really quick, just in case. So if there is, it might not be bad to fix the code to support it, so that we get better diagnostics in the future. Where is it? Annoying. Get it when I can't find what I'm looking for real quick. There it is. I thought there were some diagnostics of some sort. Oh, okay, there we go. I don't know if that will actually work for F audio. Let's see. Oh, they do have it. Awesome. Awesome. want to test this process because if this works, it might be kind of helpful. And let's call it debug. I have to depend on Microsoft's documentation for this. Bit mask of what to do. So let's see what this mask should be. I think I can just set let's log errors and warnings. I don't know if this will actually work. We'll see. It's not the same thing. Okay, right, because he changed the mass. Oh, because the 2. Dummy, it's the 2. Reserve null. Okay, let's see what happens if we do this. Just for fun. Let's see what it does. First, let's see if it actually builds and uses the right DLL. Okay, it did. Good. So our output window here, let's clear it. Did it log anything, or is this just regular? No, just Vulkan garbage. And this is the problem with logging sometimes, is that it will just spit out a ton of junk. Yeah, I feel like I'm about to give up on this, but let's see. I mean, I guess it's technically not an error not to have audio data. Let's do that real quick and see what we get. So to see if the logging actually does anything. Nah, I don't see any logging coming out of this thing. I'm going to disable this, but leave in the basic code. Anyways, let's get back to what we actually need to do. This is a little bit of distraction. So it set up the buffer, but it never assigned anything to it. I think it's because of this code here. It assigns the format, it creates this data length. I who sets up? Okay, here's no. It's the what is it called? The block data, like down here. I really like it how I turned Discord off, yet Discord is still on. Let me deal with that real quick. Of course, I have 15 Discord windows. None of them actual windows, just 15 copies of Discord running in the background. Freaking Discord. All right, let's get back to this. Getting closer. So the problem comes from this. So that one is doing it right. This one doesn't do anything at all. It creates it, but it never sets up the buffer. So the problem is that this never got set up, or is it? Yeah, this thing never got set up is the problem. The structure. If that doesn't get set up, it doesn't work, and that thing didn't get set up. Too many things called buffer. So this one did it down here. Where was it? Pen voice was doing the right thing. Which just passes raw data and says, hey, pump this into the system. Which is perfectly fine. But the other one didn't do it. It needs to set it up. So what we need to do here is we need to prepare that thing. And it's on the buffer itself that it should be prepared. Wait, should it be here? No, it shouldn't be here. The buffer should have already set itself up. It should be up here where it actually creates the buffer. Yeah, in here. We are going to zero this out first. And then we're going to set up, start by setting the obvious things. I don't think that's true, but we'll see. So it's going to come from that guy. And of course it's like that because it wants, oh, that's not what it is. Key audio data. Let's see, what do I need to fill out in the structure? See, let's use the other doc, or the X audio implementation will tell me exactly what I need to put in there. Initialize format. Yeah, so all this needs to be set up. That is what I omitted. All right, so that's what we omitted. Then down here, I believe when it plays, is that right? Yeah, when it does submit source buffer, which it does on play, it just copies the buffer and makes just the change on does it need to be looped or not, and then submits that. It's the structure's just there for passing data. It's not actually used. But I find that pre-filling this thing out, you know, is just better because you're not doing it on the fly, and it's already set up the basic things for basic looping and things like that that might come through the original data here, because it passes some of this stuff through loop positions and crap like that. We just do the rest after. So this should actually play, I think. Just thinking. Still no playback. Oh, wait a second. What's all this? Oh, it's cleanup garbage. Who cares? Doesn't matter right now. Let's see. Back to what we were doing. Let's make sure that this got called properly. This got set up properly. And then let's make sure this is a tray thing, right? And let's make sure that that's probably fine, but I'll double check that. And then let's walk through play. All right, closer. That's a little concerning. Didn't hit my breakpoints. I don't think it actually built it. Something's wrong. What's wrong here? Oh, it's a spelling error. Oh no, thanks for warning me. Ugh. I think it actually didn't compile the code or copy the DLL across or something. Yeah, it's skipping that function. Why is it skipping that function? Did I do it wrong somehow? I think maybe it's just... I think it's actually not copying the right code across. I've done this before, like, just to verify. It did, but it's, how did it skip that other function? That's weird. I don't understand. What am I missing here? So, a question from the audience. Let's put that on stream. So, no questions are dumb. Can it be any use to restart Windows audio service just to ensure Windows is not messing things up with the audio device? I find that that's extremely rare that something like that would occur. Like, the Windows audio system is actually pretty decent. It's been around for a very long time. If you have maybe a screwy device driver, you know, I would maybe consider it, but I don't believe that that would be any problem here. You know, it's definitely in our API. Usually when I'm debugging the stuff, it's like the things that are most common are things that, you know, we would potentially screw up, you know, not necessarily things that would be screwed up in the system, you know. And I always, whenever I run into a problem, it's like, okay, so what did I break? What's broken in my code? I've already found one thing that was broken in the code, so it's fairly likely that that code is, you know, is still my code that's causing the problem. I've missed something. So I usually go there first. In the rare case that it seems like everything is working properly, then I would go and maybe look at the audio device. But for me, it's like, it's not the first thing I think of. It's maybe not the 100th thing I think of, but it might be the very last if everything else fails. But we already did a test where we used the same code to play using our other audio backend that is, I think in that case it was OpenAL, and it played fine. So it's something to do with this API, with my usage of the F-Audio API specifically. I've missed something, but you know, it's always, you know, there are no dumb questions. So let's get back to this. All right. So where were we at? Yeah. All right. So for whatever reason, set buffer is being called, but this function is being skipped somehow. I don't understand why. Oh wait, it's because it doesn't use this function. It's coming this way. That's why it's being skipped. That is now obvious to me. So I fixed something, but I fixed the wrong one. Yep, that's what I did. I fixed the wrong one. See, the simplest answers. I just did something dumb. That's the problem. All right, so that copies the data. Same thing. And it's actually the buffer structure is passed to submit source buffer. I like to try to be accurate when I can. All right, so this should now fix it because it should be doing the right thing. Does it have the loop start and everything else? I guess it does. So, and I don't know how well those things work, if at all, but you know. Okay, so now we finally have it. This time it's going to play. I feel highly confident in that. But I've said that before. Right, we got audio data, everything's there. Sound, yay! We have working F audio. So if that works now with that code change, if I go back to my, yep, we can reload that. If I go back to my unit tests, which weren't working for me before, and I test this thing now, in theory, it should work. Why isn't it giving me the annoying? Just do it from Test Explorer. Test audio, sound effect instance tests, and play. So if I run that now, it should play. Yay, it works. Yay, doing the right things. And the unit test should go green because it should test all the stuff. Yep. So we have a working unit test here. Let me revert this now that that works. So I don't need this. I can't really revert it. I'll have to undo the changes here. Yep. All right. So still verify that still runs. It's not going to play audio. Thank you, John Smith. Yes. Well done. Okay, so that worked. Let's see. I'll test dynamic sound effects in a second. I want to see that these all run. Stream support failed. One of these guys failed. Which one is it? 44K. Something's wrong with that specific format in this specific format. That might not have anything to do with. I'm not sure why that one would particularly fail. I mean, is it one of these? Is it these guys? It might be some of this stuff. Tone stereo, 44K, MSA PCM. So it's this guy here is failing. Let's run it and see why it's failing here. Debug that one in particular. When the unit test framework works for you, god damn it, if I could get rid of those stupid diagnostic tools. Aha. Divide by 0, average bytes per second. So it's a bad format here. I mean, it's because I think the problem here is that this isn't handling 80 PCM properly, MS-80 PCM properly. Hi, Cacti Crown. If I'm saying those things right, I try with these names, but sometimes you guys have some wacky names and I can't follow. So it's handling that format wrong. And I saw this when we were looking at the tests in here earlier. So let's see, where was it? Initialize format. So we had a case for handling 80 PCM here special, and we might need to do something similar to that for this. I'm assuming that that it supports APCM just fine, but I don't know for sure. But it does require special stuff. So let's go look at this real quick. Okay, so he has all the coefficient set stuff for, yeah, so it has this stuff. So we just need to supply it properly, I think, and it'll work. So let's do that, stop debugging. So we're basically gonna try to copy what's happening here. It is kind of weird. Why doesn't it have a case that handles non-ADPCM here? I'm not sure why that's the case, but we'll find out. Right, so let's do a little work here. I feel so claustrophobic with this window. Window management sucks. There we go. That's a little nicer. All right, so what time is it? 10:30. All right, I'm going for an hour, but we're making progress. I'd like to end this stream by getting this all submitted back to the PR and ready to submit so that we're done with this task. So that's the goal. So let's see, go back to this guy. Okay, so I think that's what we're looking for. And I think what we want to do is if, I don't want to do that anymore. I just want to do this. It's our PCM path. Okay, so that's why we were doing this, is because we didn't know what the size of the format was. And you have this one, and you have, I don't think we use that. We do use this one as well. So what we'll do maybe is, yeah, let's get fancy, I guess. Hey, Square Bananas. Yeah, there's something going on with ADPCM on Windows. It's something subtle, and it's come up before in the past. We do need to spend a little time working on that and getting that to work more properly. Yeah, I've seen it happen to me before as well. Somebody just needs to sit down and really dig deep into that system and get it to work correctly. What I was going to do here is do a little union here with two different ones. I think it's is that the best way to do this? I don't like either of those names. just missing? Why didn't like that? I swear you can do an anonymous union like that. What am I missing? Something simple, I'm sure. Unknown size array not allowed. I think this is just thing. I think this thing is just confused. Yeah, I think it's just confused. There's no. Legal size 0 array. What the hell? Where's this illegal size 0 array? I do not understand. Just doesn't not like the anonymous union, I guess. That's weird. Is it because of this guy? Yeah, it might be this. This has an array inside of here, and I think that's why. Duh. Okay, so this is why exactly the implementation for X Audio. Yeah, Square Bananas. So yeah, the issue with the X Audio 2 thing is the FFmpeg thing. You're right. It's something dumb between FFmpeg and how X Audio 2 requires it. I think X Audio 2 really wants stuff that is MS-80 PCM, and it's not exactly correct to that. And I know that Microsoft has their own 80 PCM, compressor, and it might be that we might just have to, go ahead and just use Microsoft's 80 PCM compressor when we're compressing for that format in particular, and skip F Audio or FFmpeg unless we can figure out exactly why it's broken there. Part of that, I'd love to move all the audio processing into native code, into the native side of the pipeline, so we can work with it a little bit easier and pack things a little bit easier potentially. All right, so the reason why this doesn't work, even though I'd love it to work, is because it is because of that array in there. It actually is a variable size depending on what it is generally. So the easier thing to do here is to end up just keeping this format here, but it's going to have to be a pointer, and we have to change it depending on what it is. And this is what we had to do before as well. This is how it's set up in X Audio for this specific reason. I think that's the base format, right? Yeah. So yeah, that's the right to do this. So this is going to break a bunch of stuff. So let's let it break. All right. So here we'll do what we did before, which is format equals how did we do it on the other one? I guess there's nothing really special to do here. going to clear the memory out, and then we're going to so I don't have to clear the memory out. I can just copy. Format. That will do the job there. So now we have a format, a buffer here for format that is correct. And this should work. And I don't mind it crashing in this case. I mean, I don't know, maybe I can protect it. Yeah, let's protect it. I don't know what I should do in that case. I don't know if this can happen under other cases. We're kind of a slave to that format structure, which comes from the original audio data. So if that original format structure is incorrect, then it's going to do something weird. Could we calculate it anyways? Maybe from other stuff, but we were depending on this. We can calculate it a different way, but I think for now, let's see if this comes up as an issue. We can go from there. So instead of that, we're going to do, what's the other audio format EX? This is included in this guy. There we go. That's what we want. Do it the same way we've been doing here. Oh, yeah, that's annoying. That's why I did it that way. Yep, that's why I did it that way. Duh. And that's why that was like that. See, there's some rhyme or reason to why I was doing it previously like this. It was done on purpose. So all this stuff should work, except that's now this. View format doesn't need to be pointers. It can just be that. I think that can be this size now. And these are the coefficients for that. I don't know if this is true here. I'm not sure if that's true there. We'll have to see if we have a case and see if we can verify that or not. Keep our certs in there and our odd. I guess this is all the same between those two. So I'm going to let it fall through and do this. We do have this case here that I don't know what to do with. Let's move this guy down here. That will, though, fail and trickle up, I believe. All right, so let's step through this new code and see what we get. I'm just going to debug that guy. So I do working on the wrong one again. No, I was working on the right one. It just didn't. It didn't compile things right, or something, or didn't compile. Let's see. Oh yeah, well, it failed. That's why. Duh. I'm not finished. That is why. I hate the fact that the reunit test ran and it didn't like fail the build, and say, hey, I can't run the unit test, or didn't let me debug and say like, hey, the code doesn't compile. Instead, it just happily went about its business. It's very annoying. All right, so this one needs to be fixed as well. I don't know if this is right at all. Yeah, no clue if any of this is right, but we'll get to exact in a little bit. I know that F Audio has their own exact implementation, but I think at this point we're not going to spend time on it. Unfortunately, it's a low-level implementation of native code, and it won't play well on other platforms because if there was a way to redirect its audio output to our own API, then we could possibly handle it. But since it doesn't, and it just assumes that it's always going to be paired with F Audio, then, which is probably by design because it makes things easier, then it we won't be able to use it, and that's fine. Exact is not critical. It is super legacy at this point, and we need to be moving forward anyways. Anyway, so back to this. Let's see. Clean these guys up. Yeah, there's no WMA in here. What is it not like about this? Data can be 0, but it shouldn't be. Yeah, it could be 0, but it shouldn't be. Let's see what else is failing in here. I'm sure something else is failing. For format. Okay, it doesn't need to be that anymore. It can just be that. Okay, now this should work, I think. Back to our test explorer. Debug. Damn it. Why? Why? That file compiles. Did it just not compile all of desktop VK? I guess it did. Okay. There it is, finally. So get the format tags 2, which is not PCM, it is 80 PCM. Allocates this buffer, clears it, then it sets everything up. So here's a case of samplers per block being bigger than that. So this is a test case for this. So we'll see if it sounds correctly like this, and we'll test it without and see. So we store our thing there. Yep, that makes sense. Okay, that all makes sense. Okay, didn't like this because duration was not set. So we definitely need to set duration to something. Walkie Palm, Bros deep in the code mines. Yes, I am deep in the code mines. I've been deeper, but this is, this is good for today. Let's see, where are we at here? What was it? We were just looking at. We missed something. What was it? Oh yeah, the duration. So that didn't get set up here for this guy. I guess what's the right way to calculate duration for MSA PCM? I think it gets calculated the same way, doesn't it? No, because average price per second is not set. Is that correct? Yeah. How did I calculate it for the other? Comparing it to this, how did we calculate duration here? Did we not? We were probably calculating it a different way. Yeah, because we were using samples per second to calculate duration. Yeah, so we just used a different calculation. I can use that calculation here. I'm not sure why the other calculation is being used in other places. Yeah, but we'll use that one here. Hate these long I don't know if that's going to work like that. We'll see. I don't trust it. I think that'll end up being a floating point value, so we really do need to set it this way. Duration here. That's what we're doing that way. Oh no, what is this? Don't want to do that. I hit F5. That's not what I want to do at all. All right, let's try this again. Why didn't it? I think I know why this is happening to me over and over again. That doesn't say that it requires desktop EK, so it's not building it. That's why. So now that that dependency is there, it should build it before it runs. And I should stop running into this problem that it's not building the code I tested, or testing against the code I just built. Yeah, so average price per second ends up being 0 a lot of times, but sample block is not. So Now I wonder if this is going to break things. Well, no, sorry, not samples per average samples per second. Wait, what? Wait, what? Oh, it's because this hasn't been set up yet. Damn it. Okay, let's just clean this up now. Makes it readable at least. I can do that maybe. All right, let's try it again. One more time. This type with meaning. Let's see. Damn it. Oh, it's because this thing needs to be cast to floating point. If not, it's going to do some weird shit. Yeah, wasn't that doing that before? I wonder if this is broken on the other side too. Yeah, this is broken here too. Wasn't really getting seconds out of it. It's all. I mean, I'm assuming that this is not always going to be that might be fractional at times. Use the debugger here. Help me a little bit. I mean, maybe it can never be. No, because I mean, it can be. Yeah, I mean, it could be off. Well, no. Buffer length, block align. No, those should always be. But samples per second. That definitely could be off to that. So, yeah, that's what it needs to be in order to make this work. So, question from Square Bananas. It's fitting the sound effect from stream test, but does the corresponding sound effect from content for the same file work? I would expect so. This is more about the fact that the duration is not being calculated. That's the issue. Without the duration, it crashes out. So I need to do that. And once I get this, then I can be able to test if that file works as well. First, it was that MS-80 PCM wasn't hooked up at all in this code path. And then second, it was that it got the wrong. I need to go back and check that guy. Then it was calculating the wrong duration. So now I have a duration of some sort. Oh, that's interesting. Why is that totally wrong? Block align, length. That's a weird result. God damn it. Let me get it to... The format is less than it. That doesn't make any sense. There's something definitely way wrong with this calculation. For now, I guess, well, what is it supposed to be? Because it's a specific test here. Which one is it? It's one of these guys, but it should be returning a value like that. Which this is in milliseconds. So I should be getting that for the result, and it's not getting me that. This is the from stream test, so something's wrong with this calculation. What is wrong with this calculation? So number of bytes, block align. You know, yeah, this isn't right. We're trying to get to the I mean, it's compressed, so samples per second. If I know how many samples per block, and then, I mean, the block alignment, I think in this is actually the, well, I'm not sure if that's the right way to do that. Let's do some experimentation here. I think that with the length in bytes, times 8, so let's do some math here. Buffer length times 8 for bits divided by, because it said that it was 4 bits per sample, if I remember correctly up here, which I think that's consistent. I don't think that's, no, that's consistent. It's not variable. So that's how many samples there are. And if we have that many samples total, divide by that, does that make more sense? Or is that still wrong? No, is it divided by 2 because there's 2? Yeah, it's divided by 2, so it's not 4, it's 8 bits. Well, I assume that bits per sample, it's 4 bits, but that's not for both channels. I think that's, yeah, I think that's supposed to be 8 there. That gives me 5110, which I think now, which one is it? I forget which one I'm messing with here. I think it's this one. Actually, no, it's like this one. That feels suspiciously close here. That feels close. Yeah, that might be correct. Let me see if there's something here. Just reading the APCM structure a little bit here. Let's try an experimental function here for testing the timing on this. So what we're going to do is, I'm even going to do it like this. Buffer length times 8 bits divided by this dude up here. Bits per sample times channels. So I'm pretty sure that's correct. Divided by samples per second. What seems to be floating point. I hate making super long calculations like this. format again. Yeah. Oh, go back. Go back. Sorry, I got silent. All right, I think this would be more correct, so I'm going to stop debugging that. I'm going to test it again. I mean, it should produce the exact same result, but, you know, let's see what we get. So that's that. My duration is 510, which is not correct to the unit test, I don't believe. I think it's still going to fail the test. It's not going to... No, well, maybe not. It thinks it's 510. 510. I guess it succeeded. I guess it... Why is it dividing by 10 here? Oh, it's dividing by 10 because it's like, it doesn't have to be super precise. So it's like, if it's within a 10 milliseconds, it's fine. So, okay, so my test should pass now, I think. No, it did pass. Why not? Expected 50, but was 51. It's off by, okay, so yeah, it's supposed to be down to, to 10 millisecond resolution, and it's off by 1 millisecond, basically. Or not, I'm sorry, by 10 milliseconds. It's enough to screw it up. It's got to be a rounding. I mean, I don't know how the other calculation was done before. Let's try something here for a second. Yeah. I wonder if I need to round something down instead of up. I mean, I don't think I'm losing any precision in this. This shouldn't lose any precision because it shouldn't be a fraction of that. That should be, so what is it? Yeah, I was looking at the, I mean, you know what? That might not be, Scribbin has brought up a point. The native X-Audio code, or the C# side of the X-Audio code might have a calculation that might be acceptable to use, or at least use a similar calculation. Let's see what it did. Oh, I'm not in the platform-specific code. There's also audio loader, but let's see what's just in sound effect X-Audio. Okay. Okay, so this is what it's doing. Block alignment. Oh, so that's some... It's doing a different thing to count samples here. That's probably where it's coming wrong, is that sample per block calculation. Now, this is a good point, Square Bananas, thanks. It has to get the correct sample count. And ADPCM, you can't just take, I assume taking the length and doing the math there would give me the sample count, but that's not really getting me the sample count. So yeah, that makes sense. So let's steal some code from our own code, and we can go from there. So this should get us the more accurate result here. So rocket line divided by channels. That's interesting. Channels and buffer length. I don't trust this using integer everywhere. It probably should be long, but the result is what was it? Yeah, sample rate. It's a division, right? Sample rate come from? Wait, where did I lose sample rate? Samples per second. I was looking for sample rate and didn't see samples per second. Let's see the floating point operation, I'm pretty sure. Probably doesn't matter, but that should get us a better result. I have a good feeling about this. Oh, sorry. Yep, thanks. Once you said the words, I was like, well, I'm talking to Square Bananas here. It's like once he said, "Oh, I linked the sound effect X audio code in there." At first, I wasn't sure what you meant. It's like I was looking at the X audio 2 code, but when I saw the sound effect .x audio code, I was like, "Oh, C#. Yes, we have an implementation in C#. I should go look at that." So that's what made it click for me. All right. Samples per block, sample count, which is different than before. Duration is 0. Great. What did I do wrong here? Oh. Duh. Needs to multiply that by 1,000 and then cast it to long. That's your problem right there. Yep, 504. I mean, that should be within limits, I think. We'll see. Yay, it's green. Let's see if that fixes this guy too. Yay, it's green. All right, so some working unit tests. Okay, so whatever. So the sound effect tests there are working. So let's run the dynamic ones. Run, please. Okay, didn't run any of them. Run, please. Why didn't it run any of them? What's this blue symbol? Why is it there? Why is it not running my tests? Is there something that's disabling this for the whole thing? That one ran. Test not run. I don't know. I'm telling you to run it, dummy. I don't know what I can do here. This is really frustrating. Like, it's a test. It's here. I'm asking you to run it. So this threw an exception, so that's good to know. Yeah, I should check the output window. Thanks, Crumpet. Oh, no voice. Okay, so that makes sense. Well, I know what that's about. It's that it should be, the pen buffer is used when it's streaming, and there is no, it doesn't know what the format is yet. I think here we make the assumption that the voice is always a certain, I think a pen buffer always assumes the same format, I think, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I think this assumes must conform to the audio requirements for the audio format. I remember when I wrote all this code in here, and it was because I was just frustrated with things being so broken, and it was like, I need some very specific tests here. Okay, yeah, that's right. So I always forget. I think dynamic sound effect is only a single format. Like, it doesn't support a variable amount of formats. Yeah, I think it's just always 16-bit. 16-bit mono or stereo, I think. But how is it that I know what the... Let's see what I did in the other one, because it works on the other one. Pen buffer. Oh, so that's one thing that it was doing, is it wasn't just slapping some data across, it was actually managing a set of buffers for it. This streaming buffer garbage, which I really don't love, but let's see what happens if I just bring this across. And it was definitely a fixed size. The format was coming from where? Oh, because it should already have a buffer, a dummy buffer assigned to it. I guess it didn't. Buffer never got assigned. How is it supposed to have a buffer there? Oh, it's because of this. This create should be done differently in this case. Yeah, I'm aware. Stop. That's how I did it, was that I passed the sample rate and channels here. So it should assign like a default buffer in this case, the default buffer format, so that it knows what it is, which I'm sure if I come up here and see this, Oh, I wasn't even set it up properly there. Maybe it doesn't even work for X audio. That's interesting. I would have thought that it would. I think that was the intent. I think if I go look at like my implementation for like Switch or PlayStation, that I'd find that it was already set up to work this way there. So yeah, that's what's going on there, I think. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, what needs to happen is I need to define a format for this thing so that there's an existing format, because it needs the format in order to create the voice, right? So I need a format of some sort. So I'm going to build one. So yeah, I'm going to build one. Go here. I don't know if I set it up to do this for. Also, I haven't set up. Just give me my IntelliSense. I think it's just buffer. Yeah. I think how I did it on the other platform was I called create buffer myself here in this case. Yeah, that's what I did. I did no, I must have just done it manually. By default, slice itself. Some stuff to clean up there. I think that might work. Yep. So I need to do that. Then I need to do format is this. There's a nice little Visual Studio hint. Bang. What's that thing? That's what I want there. I think I need that. No, I need to calculate that. I need to calculate that. Lock line is 2. Bits per sample is 16. That could be 0. Stop bringing that. That's our structure for this guy. Note that see, now I need to call buffer delete. Wait. Yeah, Yeah, it makes it a little bit annoying. I think the last time I made like kind of an internal thing to deal with this, but that should be fine. This shouldn't hurt anything, I don't think. And then this thing I was going to fix here was, oh, it wasn't in here. It was in the buffer. In this guy. Oh, stop debugging. Yeah. Come on. So we're allocating those formats, we need to free them as well. Didn't want to forget that. Okay, let's make sure our voice create. Oh, damn it. Don't want to do that. Let's make sure our voice creation now works here. Creates a buffer, assign creates a format. Looks created, correct. And this is where it needs to do the next step. I want to see this through real quick, even though we're running out of time. I'm going to do something simple for right now. I mean, this is totally wrong because it's consuming the data that's coming from C#, and that's not safe. But I want to see if this actually works at all like this. So that fixed that at least. I think most of these might work now, maybe. Joe's argument exception. I mean, it does. I really hate it when the unit tests, they're supposed to throw those things. You know, don't. Let's see if these will run now. Most of them might run now. Damn it. Set volume keeps failing for it. No, that's stupid. Of course, you can call set volume on a voice that hasn't been played yet. I mean, it's assuming that everything's been set up ahead of time, but that's not necessarily true. Until you actually submit a buffer or hit play, a voice isn't necessarily created. So there's nothing to set the volume on. And then this is technically broken here as well. So I'm sure the X audio stuff will have these same unit tests failing. The right thing to do is to hold on to the mean, either we have to lazily create the reason we can't create the voice to begin with is we don't know enough about the data yet. We don't know the buffer yet. We don't really know the buffer until either a pen buffer is called, and that's basically when it's going to play, or until set buffer is called, which is may or may not be called before setting the volume. Depends on how you're. I think that's true. I think that's necessarily true. I mean, actually, no. I mean, when you create a sound effect instance, what's interesting though is that do we have those tests in here for? Because sound effect test works fine. It's the dynamic sound buffer because it doesn't create it and it doesn't have a buffer yet. But that's not necessarily, that's not actually needed to do that way, really. I mean, it could create the voice like when there's not a reason that it couldn't actually create the voice at this point. It knows what the format is. It could create it at this point and be perfectly fine. So you know exactly what it's supposed to be. So like this could be moved up to there. And that would fix that problem. And really, we don't even need the buffer at that point, because the buffer is never used here. Yeah, that might be nicer, maybe. We just did this, maybe. Should have done that on all of them, huh? Okay. That doesn't mean that I need to fix my cleanup code here. Actually, this is bad. I shouldn't have done that. Oh, damn it. Why do I keep doing that? Was it the one that failed set volume? Which test was it? Yeah, I'll just run all of them. Hey, I'm hearing sounds. And that sounds like the right test. I remember those sounds because when the unit test box was in my office, I'd hear those sounds all the time. It's okay. So progress. So that's not working, which that doesn't surprise me. That's probably not working either. Oh no, it does work. Why didn't it run those tests then? You probably got to the first failing test and stopped, I guess. Or something. Pending buffer count fails. Playback succeeds. So pending buffer count's the one that fails, and buffer needed multiple consumed. I mean, this is how it's doing this is not very good. We really do need to manage the buffers in the background. But yeah, so we made some good progress here, I think. But I think it's time for me to to back off that. Oh, I left that freaking comment on screen all day, huh? Sorry. All right, so yeah, I think we made some good progress on this. We're super close. I wish I had the time to stay here and keep hammering at this, but I have some other things I have to deal with today. Complicated, life gets complicated. So yeah, so we're very close here. I think a couple more fixes and we can get this thing to a working state. We haven't gotten the DX audio test, but in theory, just gonna hit run on them just while I'm here. Yeah, they all fail because they all depend on the other path for X audio data. But in theory, we're right here at the precipice of getting this stuff to run. So, an hour or two more, and this thing should all be working, and we can get this thing submitted, which would be great, because then we will have a F audio backend for the native backend. That means we have a full Vulkan backend now with Vulkan for audio and F audio for sound, and it would give us a complete path for Windows desktop, Linux desktop, and Mac desktop. Even though this code has to be tested on Mac and Linux, in theory it should just work. F audio is pretty portable, so I'm pretty sure it will run. So yeah, so good progress. As always, hey, if you're not subscribed to us on Twitch and YouTube, you should be. Why are you not? We're still trying to pump our numbers on Twitch and get us to a higher level to get some more visibility and some more possible viewers. Same thing with YouTube. We've been working hard to kind of improve our YouTube content, hence these streams and some of the other stuff we've been doing. So we appreciate that. So give us a follow if you haven't already. Also, donate. MonoGame is run strictly by donations from people. We had a great donation from the Turia team a couple of years ago, which has kept us running for the last couple of years, and we're reaching out to try to get more sponsorships. For sure, individual donations are the best. We're trying to grow those things, and we've done pretty good there, but we need to do even more. So I know things are tough right now. It's tough on everybody, so we get it, but do what you can. And yeah, so that's it for this week. Thanks everybody. Bye.